What's up guys, Tarvin here from KL Gadget TV, and today we are going to take a look at a comparison between the Honor Play and the Pocophone F1. Now most of you know these phones are very cheap and they come with premium flagship specs. So the Honor Play retails for 1,249 ringgit, whereas the Pocophone F1 retails for 1,237 ringgit. However, the price will increase for this phone when SST kicks in to 1,299 ringgit. Alright guys, so before we take a look at the gaming performance of both these phones, let's just talk a little bit more about both the Honor Play and the Pocophone F1. Both these phones come with a plastic build on the back. It's not really such a cheap plastic because when I was using both this phone, I felt that it's very sturdy and it feels very good in your hand. So the craftsmanship is not too bad on both these phones. Now other than that, taking a look at along the phones, both these phones have a headphone jack. So the Honor Play has a headphone jack on the bottom and the Pocophone has a headphone jack on the top. So this is good for those of you that are intense PUBG players, because I know you like to connect your headphones while playing PUBG. So there's no issue for both these phones. So other than that, we have your typical buttons on both the buttons are on the right side. You have your SIM card trays on the left side, and of course both these phones are using USB Type-C to charge the phone. So overall, it does give you everything you need for a gaming phone. You have your headphones, you have USB Type-C, and both these phones do support fast charging as well. Alright, so let's move over to the front of the phone. Now both these phones have a full HD resolution. However, the Honor Play comes with a 6.3-inch screen, while the Pocophone F1 comes with a 6.1-inch screen. Now, I overall like the screen on the Honor Play, mainly because the bezels are much smaller compared to the Pocophone, as you can see with the sides and especially with the bottom. However, if you do not mind the bezels, then both these phones have very nice screen qualities. The colors are nice, the overall display is quite pleasing to look at. So if you're going to be playing games on this, or you just want to be watching movies and videos on the screens, it would definitely serve you pretty well. Alright, so now that we have taken a look at the externals of the phone, let's take a look at the internals of the phone. So on the left, the Honor Play comes with a Kirin 970 processor, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. Powering the phone is a 3750 mAh battery, which it sounds pretty good for a budget gaming phone. However, when we go over to the Pocophone comes with a Snapdragon 845 processor, 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. Powering the phone is a 4000 mAh battery. So it feels like over on the Pocophone, you are definitely getting more value because the performance and the specs are much better compared to the Honor Play. So first, we're going to talk about the Honor Play. Now, the Honor Play comes with EMUI. However, the overall usage of this phone is pretty decent. It does lag once in a while, especially when opening up WhatsApp messages or when loading up Facebook. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent experience that what Honor has provided on the Honor Play. Now, moving over to the Pocophone F1. Something very unique about this phone is that they actually changed MIUI, because now MIUI has an app drawer. Now, before this, I honestly did not like MIUI, mainly because it was not very friendly when it comes to using Android on MIUI. But however, with this difference, with this change, this Poco UI that they are calling, I think that this is a far big improvement that they have added. And the good thing is they have released this launcher so you can download it on your Mi phone if you want to. Now, overall usage of this phone, again, is very similar to the Honor Play. The phone does perform pretty well, it's quite smooth. However, there is some issues with WhatsApp, especially because when I'm typing a message, the keyboard somehow seems to stop working. So I need to actually go back and come back again. I'm not sure why that happens. I realize that not a lot of people are facing this problem, but I do. However, opening up apps like Facebook and WhatsApp is pretty smooth, as you can see for yourself. It's pretty fast. So overall, again, the usage of this phone compared to the Honor Play, I would definitely take the Pocophone over the Honor Play, mainly because there is a much more smoother environment over here. Now, why that might be is because maybe that this phone is using UFS 2.1. Now, if you don't know what UFS 2.1 is basically a method of how files are being transferred to the phone. So instead of having one sequence of transferring, the Pocophone can allow for two sequences of transferring and receiving at the same time. So that's how it speeds up performance on this phone. Okay, so lastly, we're going to take a look at the Face Unlock. The reason why I want to take a look at the Face Unlock is because on the Pocophone F1, it is using an IR sensor. So that is basically the same technology that is in the Mi 8 and roughly about the same as the iPhone 10, which allows you to actually unlock your phone in the dark. So I don't know if you can see that, but the Pocophone F1 definitely got into the phone faster than the Honor Play. So let's try that one more time. Yeah, definitely. So it is obvious that the improvement in the face unlock for the Pocophone F1 does definitely help. Alright guys, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is gaming, because obviously these two are gaming phones. So the first game we're going to try out is Asphalt 9. Now, throughout my time using the Honor Play and the Pocophone F1, I realized that Asphalt is far more smoother on the Honor Play compared to the Pocophone F1, because as you can see for yourself, although the Pocophone F1 is using a Snapdragon 845 processor, but Asphalt still thinks that it cannot run the game on its full graphics on the Pocophone. Thus, you can see that there are jagged edges around the car, and when you compare it to the Honor Play, there's no jagged edges, and the frame rates is still more smoother on the Honor Play, although the graphics is slightly lower on the Pocophone F1. Now the next game we're going to take a look at is of course the game that everybody is talking about, PUBG Mobile. So again, PUBG Mobile is smoother on the Honor Play compared to the Pocophone F1, as I can feel that there's a very micro jitters and lag that happens on the Poco F1 compared to the Honor Play. Now again, this could be because of software optimization, or it could be because the Honor Play has the GPU Turbo update that makes everything much more smoother. Alright guys, so the last thing I want to talk about is the thermals of this phone, because on the Honor Play is using your regular thermal transfer solution, whereas on the Pocophone F1 is using a liquid cool system, which we have seen on the Xiaomi Black Shark. Now it might sound like a gimmick to you, however this does make a huge difference when it comes to thermals, because when I was playing a few games of Asphalt on the Honor Play, I realized that the top of the phone gets hot pretty fast. However, on the Pocophone F1, it still maintains a very cool back, so it's very comfortable to play long sessions on the Pocophone F1, and that same issue transfers over to PUBG. However, on the Pocophone F1, it does not get that hot. It gets slightly warm, and if you decide to close the game for a minute or two, again the back will be cool once again. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the photography capabilities of both this phone. Now the Honor Play comes with a 16 plus 2 megapixel sensor on the back, and the Pocophone has a 12 plus 5 megapixel sensor on the back. Now overall, both these phones do take decent pictures, but however I definitely prefer the pictures taken on the Poco F1. And if you can see for yourself, now the first photo that we have taken off is of a plant, and as you can see for yourself on the Pocophone F1, the picture looks far more natural than it is on the Honor Play. Now this is probably due to its processing, but if you prefer a more natural picture, then it is very obvious that the Poco F1 has a far more natural picture compared to the Honor Play. Now moving on to the second picture. The second picture is a picture where two buildings are on the left and right, but I want to focus on the building on the right. Now if we zoom into these buildings, you can see for yourself that the shadows on the Pocophone F1 is more detailed compared to the shadows on the Honor Play. And adding on to that, you can see for yourself that on the Honor Play, the building is overexposed, whereas on the Pocophone F1, the details are still very nice. And this also extends over to the purple color pillars on the building. Now finally, we move on to the last pictures taken by the rear cameras, and I think it is very self-explanatory for this picture, because it is obvious that the image on the Pocophone has so much more better colors, there are more vibrant colors, the details are so much more better, and then when you go over to the Honor Play, the image is just totally washed out. The colors don't look appealing at all. It looks like the plants are withering away, which is quite sad because I expected at least a bit more decent image quality on the Honor Play. Now moving on to the front cameras, the Pocophone comes with a 20 megapixel sensor, while the Honor Play comes with a 16 megapixel sensor, and unlike the rear cameras, the quality over here now kind of swaps, because it looks like the Honor Play does produce a much better selfie image compared to the Pocophone F1. Now as you can see for yourself, the Pocophone F1 somehow seems to have a beautification effect, although I have turned off the beautification effect. And you can see with the color of my skin comparing both the phones, I have a more natural skin on the Honor Play. And also if we zoom in into my beards, it is very obvious again that the details on the Honor Play is far more superior on the Pocophone, because for some reason the Pocophone decided to give me an extra shave. As you can see for yourself, I have much lesser beard on my face compared to the Honor Play. Now again, that could be because of the beautification effect. However, if you definitely want a more natural selfie shot, you are definitely going to go with the Honor Play. And finally, we come to the battery performance on both these phones. Now, as I mentioned before, the Honor Play has a 3750 mAh battery, whereas the Pocophone F1 has a 4000 mAh battery. Now, you would think that the Pocophone is the complete winner here. However, during my use, I realized that the Honor Play can last me easily 2 days. And if I'm playing games, watching some videos, or just browsing the internet, roughly 1.5 days I would definitely get enough battery life on this phone. However, when it comes over to the Pocophone, I realized that the Pocophone will probably only last me 1 day, and this is again the same thing, playing PUBG during lunchtime and maybe playing a few games of Asphalt during working hours. So it's pretty obvious that the winner here is the Honor Play. Now, that could also be thanks to the GPU Turbo update, which they have mentioned will improve efficiency on this phone. So it is very interesting that a bigger battery size cannot win a phone with a smaller battery. So if you were to look for a phone that you don't want to charge every single day, then you definitely want to go with the Honor Play once again. So guys, there you have it. That is my comparison of the Honor Play and the Pocophone F1 when it comes to daily usage and gaming as well. Now, what I think about both these phones? Well, both the companies of these phones have offered you something that is very, very impressive, because for something that is below 1,500 ringgit, you're getting flagship specs on a phone that is pretty cheap. Now, of course, you're not going to get the build quality of other premium flagships out there, because obviously both these phones are using plastic bags, but that is the compromise you have to go with when you want to reduce the cost of a phone but give the best performance possible. Now, which phone would I want to choose? Well, when it comes to media consumption and gaming, it seemed to perform much better on the Honor Play. However, when it comes to system usage, when it comes to navigating the phone, I realized that things are much more smoother on the Pocophone F1. Now, when it comes to cameras, I still prefer the Poco F1 because I'm a person that uses the rear camera a lot. So for me, I like that the Poco F1 produces a very natural shot compared to the Honor Play's rear camera, which is not so as impressive as the Pocophone. So guys, there you have it. If you like this video, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, because we take out videos like this every single week. And of course guys, I will see you in the next video.